Let's join Heather and our board certified behavior analyst Marla Watts Pacheco as they talk about this week's high leverage practice.
Welcome to Little Bits of TLC, the podcast where we explore the dynamic world of education. Join our host, Heather Volchko, as this season we focus on high leverage practices, HLPs. Each episode will examine a different HLP, essential strategies designed to enhance teaching and improve outcomes across various educational settings. These practices focus on collaboration, assessment, social, emotional, behavioral support, and instruction, benefiting all K-12 students. I hope you're ready to be both challenged and inspired, because this season is all about mastering the HLPs. This is Little Bits of TLC. Looking to become an RBT in a school setting? Or just want training that actually fits the work you do every day? Our school-based RBT 40-hour training was built just for that. This course meets the 2026 training requirements and was created by real school-based specialists who know what the job actually looks like. It's engaging, up-to-date, and grounded in the classroom, not a clinic. With cross-training connections for para-educators and study tools to help you pass your exam with confidence, this training goes way beyond checking a box. Led by Heather Volchko, Candace McCoy, and Manny Wasius, and featuring Dr. Richard Van Acker, it's the first course of its kind that we know of, and we're proud of that. Head to university.thresholdlearning.org to enroll and get started. Let us teach you the basics, get you thriving, and move you onward through your journey to becoming an RBT today.
Use student assessment data, analyze instructional practices, and make necessary adjustments that improve student outcomes. After special education teachers develop instructional goals, they evaluate and make ongoing adjustments to students' instructional programs. Once instruction and other supports are designed and implemented, special education teachers have the skill to manage and engage in ongoing data collection using curriculum-based measures, informal classroom assessments, observations of student academic performance, and behavior self-assessment of classroom instruction, and discussions with key stakeholders like students, families, and other professionals. Teachers study their practice to improve student learning, validate reasoned hypotheses about salient instructional features, and enhance instructional decision-making. Effective teachers retain, reuse, and extend practices that improve student learning and adjust or discard those that do not.
This week, we're talking about high leverage practice number 6, using student assessment data, analyzing instructional practices, and making necessary adjustments that improve student outcomes. So I know, Marla, in your current role, you are constantly taking in information from all kinds of different places, all kinds of different people. So for you and your practice, what does this look like?
Yes, that's a very good question. And it's kind of our ongoing process because we're always are trying to refine what we can do better. But for me, as a behavior analyst in our center-based program, we use a variety of things. And I can't take the credit for it all because it really is a team effort working alongside with other multidisciplinary members and staff. But for me, as more for behavior, I look at the data. And that's something that I think that I'm really setting the tone for since last school year when we started. And what we use right now, and again, I'm speaking more for behavior, is we use Swiss, right? And that we look at data and referrals that we're getting in the schools. However, we've had to tweak that so many times because it's a center-based program. So it's not really fit for our population. So with that, I've had to work hand in hand with our teacher consultants or our curriculum consultants, really trying to see okay, with the data that we're gathering here, how can we modify it that's going to best fit for that student and really capture them as a whole. So I speak more behaviorally, and then we have our other members that kind of help with the academics and curriculums. And that I can't really speak exactly what they use, but I know we use our CETA, right? We also use our Essentials for Living. We also use our current state standard practices of what our students need to be learning and things like that, as well as other classroom assessments that they use. But for me, Swiss is the biggest one. We are hoping to transition to iSwiss because that's more for our population that we work with. And with that, you're able to really house their IEP goals, their behavior goals, and a lot of other cool things that just makes it look better. And it's just all housed in one setting. But I think this year we've done a really good job of also creating data checklist for our IEP goals. And that again is what I have done closely this past year, working with our teacher consultant of how we can make our staff take data and what's easy for them. I think another thing that when we talk about this, about, data collection, and things like that, that's something that's still quite new for educators. And not so much like they know what data is, but what data am I taking and what's the purpose of it? And how does that look like? And I think as a behavior analyst, and you know this, Heather, we are trained in that heavily. And I think that's just like another learning curve for our staff of how does that look like and when does it need to be done? How is it done with fidelity and things like that?
Yeah, I think in some of the upcoming high leverage practices, there's a lot of people that have some, different experiences with data collection. But I'm curious, I mean, you just rattled off so many different acronyms, platforms, tools, right? It's beautiful that you have all these things, but this high leverage practice is really focused on, so how do I make sense of all of that? Like, how
Yeah.
do I take all of that information and then know, like, what do I do with it? So I know for your team, you have so much data from all these different tools and resources. How do you then come to the table together and process through? So, what does this kid need? How do we actually align that to get to where that kid needs to go?
I can say from my personal experience, I've had a great team to work with because it really takes a village to help and support our population. And I went to school for one thing, and then our other members went to school for another thing. And when you're trying to marry all of our thoughts together and really pinpoint what are the needs of the student and what's going to set them for success, which looks different for every student, we really come together. And when we share our ideas and when we look at this, we're not wrong, but we really have to tune out to see what is it that's going to be best practice in the classroom for this student? And then what are their goals in the future? As I mentioned before, we have different members in our team. Our teacher consultant, she's kind of looking, depending on the grade level that we're working with, like for example, if it's a post secondary student, what are their transitional goals, right? And what behaviors are they seeing during those transitional goals, or what behaviors are getting in the way? And then we have like our curriculum consultant where they kind of look at, and our teacher consultant as well kind of looks at what would be the best way to teach our student these skills that they are going to need when they do step out of our building. So it really is a team effort, and we don't have a checklist per se that we do step one, done. We do step two, it's done. It's not clean like that. And I'm sure, Heather, you know that.
Yeah.
It's different and it's always evolving. And so when I think of this question of like, well, how does it look like? What do you guys do? It's an ongoing conversation. And it's one of the things that we really do strive for is how does this look like for this student? Because what we might recommend for this one student, it's definitely going to look different for this other student. And then we also take into consideration what parents have to say and what's feasible for them, right? While also considering that we want to stay in compliance, right? With what we're trying to teach in our school. So I think it's just a variety of things. It's not like a clean recipe, but I will say that I think you really have to have staff who are willing to share those ideas and know their students very well and kind of go from there.
I love how much you're talking about this being an ongoing interactive process. That it's not, so we collect all this data and we sit down and we have this conversation and then that conversation drives forever and ever. Amen. It's like, no, like we're constantly looking at, considering, analyzing, interpreting, and then acting on what that is and kind of whatever direction that's coming from. It doesn't really matter. It's that we're constantly having something at our fingertips that we can look at objectively to figure out, is this working? Is it not working? Is it in alignment with where we are trying to go? And are we kind of moving in that direction? But that it's just constant. Like we're continuously going back. Is it working? Is it not? What can we try? Okay, now is it working? Is it not? Now what can we try? Right? It's constant. But I love that it's collaborative and it's continuous, right? That it's not just this one time, okay, there's an eligibility. And so now we, move on in a direction, that this is continually updating all of our practices. I mean, the whole way through graduation.
Correct. When we speak of that or when we talk about that, I think of like our typical assessments that we use. right? Like our VB map, our verbal behavior assessment. We use the ABLs, we use the EFLs, we use the Vinland and all of those things, right? And of course, you go and look at a student or a client, you assess them, you determine what kind of skills they are lacking or what current skills they do have, and you just build from there, right? Now, in the school world, there's a whole different, I mean, I think you guys even have courses on this, right, Heather? Like on curriculums and things like that. And I didn't have that. And so I think this is where you really have to like divide and conquer. And again, like I have nothing but like positivity with the team that I have, where it does not feel like it's just one person doing it all. It really is like a team effort that you said. But again, I think the key thing here is that you are working with those partners and those families and other professionals to really ensure the success for those students. And then tuning out to see like what's best for the student to learn and what are things that we can do right now to achieve that. And like you said too, yes, we do these assessments. We have these curriculums, right, that I've grown to know about, but it's always like an ongoing thing. And it's not just something that we do once, like one time and we're set. It's something that we have to keep doing. And I think we have a pretty good process where we are meeting like perhaps like an IEP for a student, or we have a process before we review a behavior plan, right? And working closely with others, you share with what you've investigated or encountered in this process versus, and then again, you try to come together and meet in the middle of, okay, this is what we can do. And again, it's just so awesome. It's so beautiful at the same time. Like I'm thinking about it right now. Like it just feels great to know that you have a team who authentically and genuinely cares because they really want to see our students' success. And I've grown to really love the population I work with. And so you want to do the student right. And the families, you want to serve them correctly. And yeah, it's an awesome thing. And again, like I cannot take credit for it all.
Yeah, well, listeners can't see this, right? Like I can see, like you're just glowing, like you're just smiling and happy, and like just genuinely warm about the teaming that you get to live within, right? And that you get to see so many different strengths all come to the table on behalf of and in collaboration with a student and their family for their future success, right? Like that is an absolutely beautiful thing when it happens. And I love how every single one of your people are doing what they can do in their own corners to champion that future success of the kid. I'm really curious though, like, have you seen scenarios where maybe that's not always the case? Like, where a professional may just bring like this is my information and then this is what I think. And so it's not necessarily like in an interactive collaborative manner, or maybe it's only just, I just look at this data and I just make my decision and then that sticks for the next like 5 years or something. Or even, I mean, I've come into situations where it's like that data doesn't even actually say what conclusions you're making out of that. Like, let's back that up.
I know. Yes. And of course, like we've had those moments too where perhaps, and I think this kind of happened when I started more last year as a new BCBA coming into a center based program and reviewing all their data and everything. And then perhaps another member having a different opinion about a student. And thankfully, we have not gotten to a point where that's been, let's just say, it's been a negative experience or like it really has torn us apart and it really has divided the team. I think there have been some very healthy questions and challenges that I think that has only made us as a team to look at this and come together even stronger. And when that did happen, when we had some different approaches or thoughts and opinions, each of us gave our explanation of why. And again, they weren't bad, Heather. They were good, legitimate concerns, but you really need to put your personal thoughts away and know that this is about the student and not about you. You really got to set those things to the side and then go with what you have. And okay, how can we make it better that we can all be on the same page? So, yes, collaborating and hearing other people just share their ideas and or maybe like try things out and then see if that's going to work or not. Again, it all depends on the situation, but it does happen where we do have different opinions and thoughts and data. And it's again, like sometimes it's like, well, did you even take the data correctly? Because I would have taken it like this. And again, I think we've been very fortunate where we can be like, okay, like I see your concerns. Let me try it the way you're telling me now. And then we can meet up again and see what we got. And then we go from there. But I think it really is just like having to trust each other that and just assume positive attentions and then just, yeah, work as a team. And again, really just kind of like minimize your personal thoughts, right? And just know that this is about the student and not about you.
Yeah, well, if there's anything that sounds like it's coming through loud and clear for this is that this high leverage practice is never just done. It's continually happening and it's really best done in a genuine collaborative environment where lots of different thoughts are at the table, lots of different tools and, resources are available to be used in those conversations and that they're just continually used over time. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise in this. And I know from your own professional background, you're more comfortable in some areas than others, but I love that you're able to also see what everybody else is bringing to the table and communicate that on their behalf as well. So thank you so much for having this conversation with me today.
Thank you, Heather, so much.
Working with students who need long term individualized support? Project Base is a 4-strand project designed for educators in self contained classrooms serving students with low incident needs. You'll get step by step guidance on building a program that focuses on communication, daily routines, and real world skill building. From setting up the classroom environment to designing personalized plans, this course helps you create a space where your students can grow and succeed in school and into adulthood. Led by Chris Zielinski and Carly Dietz, Project Base offers practical strategies, case studies, and planning tools to help you confidently support your students every step of the way. If you're ready to strengthen your program and build something that lasts, this project is your next step. If you're supporting emotional or behavioral needs in general ed or resource classrooms, Project Thrive helps you keep learning on track. And if you're in a therapeutic or alternative setting, building something from the ground up, Project Onward offers the structure and tools to do it well. Head to university.thresholdlearning.org to meet your team and begin building your home base today.
Special education teachers play a crucial role in tailoring instructional and behavioral practices to meet the diverse needs of their students. Even though many of these practices are supported by research or widely accepted as effective, a key insight is that no single approach will work for every student. Instead, special education teachers rely on a nuanced understanding of each student's progress to guide their instructional choices. This involves a dynamic process of formative assessment. Formative assessment isn't just about testing students, it's a comprehensive method of gathering feedback during instruction to refine and improve teaching strategies. Essentially, it's a loop of collecting data, ranging from curriculum based measures and informal classroom assessments to observations and self assessments. This data is then used to gauge how well instructional methods are working, guiding teachers to make necessary adjustments. The process starts with gathering a variety of data from reliable sources. Teachers then interpret this information to evaluate the effectiveness of their teaching. If the data reveals that current methods aren't meeting students' needs, they develop alternative strategies and modify their approach accordingly. This cycle of collecting data, interpreting results, and refining instruction continues, creating a continuous feedback loop aimed at enhancing student achievement. In practice, formative assessment helps teachers make informed decisions about how to use instructional time, provide additional support for students who are struggling, adjust teaching methods, and adapt the curriculum based on the strengths and weaknesses revealed through data analysis. By engaging in this iterative process, special education teachers can better support their students and drive their progress toward success. High Leverage Practice 6, or HLP 6, is built on the foundation established by the first 5 high leverage practices. To truly excel in HLP 6, special educators must be adept at utilizing a broad range of student data to make informed decisions about instructional adjustments. This capability is critical for enhancing student outcomes. However, it's important to recognize that this isn't a task that can be accomplished in isolation. Effective collaboration with colleagues and families is essential. Special educators need to draw on a diverse array of data sources and have a robust toolkit of evidence based and other instructional practices at their disposal. This approach ensures they can adapt to meet the varied needs of their students. HLP 6 is deeply intertwined with the practices from both the social, emotional, behavioral, and instruction domains. Capturing data on the effectiveness of different instructional strategies and making decisions based on that data is a fundamental aspect of the special educator's role. In essence, HLP 6 reflects the ongoing collaborative process of refining instructional methods to support student success. Effective teachers who use student data to guide their instructional decisions starts by establishing where each student currently stands, employing a range of assessments to gauge their performance. With this baseline in hand, they set ambitious long-term goals for student achievement. To reach these goals, they carefully select and implement interventions, ensuring their instruction is delivered with high fidelity. As students progress, these teachers continuously monitor their advancement towards these goals, evaluating whether the current strategies and interventions are effective. If the data suggests that changes are needed, they are prepared to adjust their instructional practices, interventions, or services accordingly. Furthermore, these teachers use visual tools like graphs to make student progress, or the lack of it, clearly visible and easily communicable to stakeholders, team members, and families. Their approach is characterized by patience, systematic effort, and a persistent search for what truly works for each individual student. This relentless focus on finding effective strategies ensures they are always striving to enhance their students' educational experiences. For school leaders aiming to support their teachers effectively, a key strategy is to guide educators in interpreting data from diverse sources. This helps teachers make informed decisions about how to adjust their instruction and services. It's also crucial to offer feedback and coaching on how faithfully teachers are implementing selected instructional strategies and interventions. Establishing consistent schedules and procedures for collecting, scoring, graphing, and analyzing data is essential. This routine reinforces the importance of data-based decision-making in the classroom. Additionally, creating well-organized systems for assessment and intervention materials ensures that everything teachers need is readily accessible. Training support staff to assist with data-based routines can further enhance the decision-making process. Finally, providing opportunities for teachers to collaborate, share data, and engage in collective problem-solving fosters a culture of data-driven decision-making within the school. By implementing these strategies, school leaders can significantly strengthen their teachers' ability to use data effectively to improve student outcomes. While the Institute of Education Sciences may categorize research support for formative assessment and continuous improvement cycles as low, it's important to recognize that a wealth of individual studies advocate for using assessment data within a data-based decision-making framework to enhance instruction. This approach proves particularly valuable when working with students who have unique educational needs. Despite the broader research assessment, these targeted studies highlight the practical benefits of leveraging data to refine and improve teaching strategies for better outcomes. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Join us next week as Heather sits down with supervising BCBA Verancia Monford to talk about our next high-leverage practice.
Hey, before you jump back into your busy life, consider dropping a like and follow @Threshold Learning TLC on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you like our show, share the podcast with your colleagues. A personal recommendation is by far the best way to promote the podcast. Let them know that they can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that they catch their podcast. Just be sure to leave a rating and review on your favorite platform. You can email us at info@thresholdlearning.org. We always enjoy connecting with fellow educators and champions for educational justice. You can find everything you're looking for at thresholdlearning.org. See you there. Attention educators pursuing behavior analysis certification and universities preparing them for success. Supervision with TLC offers 100% remote fieldwork supervision designed specifically for school-based professionals. Educators can earn their hours right in their schools without leaving their classroom, all while being supported by experienced BCBAs who understand the realities of education. With month-to-month scheduling, affordable rates, and both live video and asynchronous chat, our fieldwork supervision model is designed to fit into your life, not the other way around. We also invite universities to enhance their graduate programs in partnership with our team of practicing school-based BCBAs. Our fieldwork supervision model keeps students on track for certification by helping them connect their practice to all exam domains so that they can confidently pass the exam. Explore more at university.thresholdlearning.org/supervision or email supervision@thresholdlearning.org to connect. Supervision with TLC, where educators grow into behavior analysts.